Alright, we're going to do a quick little video since I never did a video of actually setting this up. It's a bunch of trial and error work and learning experience mainly. So I printed up this instruction. You might be able to find it by searching that. This is one of the best instructionals I could find. The only thing I don't think it actually covers too much of is the ring adjustment. It mentions it, but I don't think it actually shows you how to go about adjusting it or what to look for when adjusting it. But anyways, so I got dial indicator from Amazon. There's a seal driver here. This is a 1/4 inch manual style or old school style dial indicator inch-pound torque wrench. You'll need that for the preload. And I ordered the rebuild kit from, I think it's a company called Statics or something like that. Don't quote me, but I want to say it's something like Statics off of eBay. They sold the rebuild kit, which was, all new bearings inside, new pinion bearings. The only thing it doesn't include was these clips. They do sell these clips for like $7. And the only reason I'm mainly doing the shout out for this company is, one, their price for the rebuild kit was cheaper than anyone else, and it was Timken bearings. And it was, I want to say, $60 or $65 for the whole rebuild kit, and it included the gasket, new ring bolts, which I didn't use because I never took this ring off of this open diff, new bearings and races, new pinion bearings and races, new rear pilot bearing, the shims that are here that I didn't use actually, new O-ring, and a new nut for the end of the pinion, or the yoke. I think that's everything. It's pretty much everything to rebuild it except for that little clip. So the first clip I got didn't fit right. Like, it literally just set in the hole. So I messaged him, I asked him about it, and he actually responded back within the day, maybe first thing in the morning the next day. But he replied back pretty quick and said, there's some variances in them sometimes, that every once in a while they'd have one that's different. And he said he was gonna go out and size up a few and find some that were bigger, and he'd mail me one out whenever he found one. Later that day, emails me back, said he found 2 that are larger that were slightly different sizes, and he was gonna mail them both out to me, no charge. That's awesome customer service. They sell these things for, $7, $8, I think $7 a piece. And he just offered them to just mail out 2 of them to me right away. I literally got it in 3, maybe 4 days from when he messaged me. The downside is I'm impatient, and as soon as I found out it didn't fit, I thought it was just like a brand thing. I figured maybe it was a reproduction one or something. So I found an eBay seller that said OEM Ford part, and it was like $7.50, $8. Bought it. It showed up the day before these 2 did. These back 2 are the ones he sent me. This front was the smaller one. So now I have some extra one of those. But anyways, dude's awesome. They have some great prices. I'll actually be buying my permanent diff case or housing from them. It's gonna end up being one of the Yukon aluminum through bolts, and I'll be going with an Eaton True Track diff, and I'll also be getting a 350 gear set or ring and pinion set from them probably too. They have some Ford racing ones, along with some strange ones and maybe their own brand or some off-brand set that they sell. But it seemed like all the stuff they sell is quality stuff. They sell Yukon, they sell Strange, Timken bearings for everything, I believe. But it all seemed pretty good, and I'm satisfied with their customer service by far. So anyways, I'll go over this. So I originally wire wheeled this with a little forward facing, show you this. If I can move my caliper and all this other bullshit. This little thing. So I wire wheeled down the grooves with this. That took out all the old gunk, hardened mud, clay, dirt, etc. that was on this, because this came off like an old Bronco. So it was coated. Let me loosen up my adjuster here. quite enough. One more turn. Here we go. So, wire wheeled all the grooves, cleaned it all up. I also sandblasted it. I made sure to stay away from the inner faces, any face where something mated or a bearing race went, I stayed away from. I actually taped them off. But I sandblasted mainly down in these grooves and stuff that I couldn't get real good in. And this is pour 15. Coated everything pour 15. I mean, obviously I didn't coat the sealing surface on the back side of the yoke, and I didn't coat anywhere where something went. So all the exteriors is coated pour 15. Did the whole process, the degreaser, etch, sealer, and their top coat. And so far, just from my experience using it, shit's pretty awesome I mean, as long as you use it right. From what I've heard, the biggest complaints are people that don't take the time to prep it. And it is a 4-step process on applying it, so it's not the easiest thing to use in certain cases. Parts like this, where you can easily take it out, coat it, hose it, dunk it in a bucket if you need to, it's great. I'll probably be doing the whole housing with pour 15 as well. But anyways, so I won't take it through too many of the steps. If nobody's done third member assembly, search this here, read through it, watch some videos. There's plenty of them out there. That's why I didn't bother making one, because there's tons of information on these. The only thing I didn't, or that I would have made a video if I was experienced enough, was the adjustments for the ring and gear pattern. There's some videos on them, but they don't go real in depth. And several of the drawings seem to be confusing or contradictory to me. So from what I did, I literally just played with the shims until I found what matched best, which surprisingly was no shims. Now these had a shim in it before, and I wrote down the two. The downside is I had 2 of these Bronco housings, and I didn't keep track of the shims that went to which one. One was 12 thousandths, one was 16 thousandths. I did test both of them. Neither one gave a good pattern. And I think the reason was because the gear set that I wanted to run, which was 3.0, is what it's in here. The other one I had was like 276. So I ran the 3.0. The housing, I grabbed the cleaner or better looking of the housings, and I think that's where my slip up is. I don't think this carrier and pinion assembly matches the housing and pinion cartridge, which is probably why I'm able to run this without a shim and it gave the best pattern. And I'm not really all that concerned about it being a perfect pattern, because this won't be in the car for long. I mean, once it gets on the road, this will probably be the first thing I modify on it, so I'm not doing the one wheel peel. But I got it all set. It throws a good pattern. I've got preload set on this pinion right at 30 inch-pounds with the seal. I think it came out to about 15 to 20 inch-pounds without the seal. Now I'm using a crush style sleeve inside. The new one, the Yukon one I go with, will end up being a solid shim. I haven't thread locked the side yet because I still have to fill it with oil. Obviously, there's no point in that. But this little stand I built worked amazing. The only thing I wish I would have done different was this rod I put in here made way too deep of a notch, so I have to thread this thing in a good 3 turns before it locks. I should have just put just a little bitty shelf in the round for it to lock on, and that was it. Didn't think things through when I did it though. But anyways, this is all I've been working on lately. I haven't touched the car other than to smear some more Bondo or filler on the sides and the jambs. Since rescuffing though, I mentioned in a previous video I had issues with that platinum. I took it all off in here. I have not tried like the tape trick on the back areas where I painted more rust and cap over the platinum. I do need to do that still and see how it's mating, or how it adhered, and see if it actually will come off with tape like the other stuff was. But I'm about to take this off the stand. I bought a little container for it at dollar store that I'm gonna just throw it in that and put it in the garage up front. That way I can keep doing my Bondo work and I won't get this thing covered since it's obviously exposed gears. But anyways, enough of that, and I'll bring this video to a close. But if anyone has any questions on to work with this, I'll be glad to answer as best I can. And I'll bring it back whenever I have a better video to show of some more progress in the car. Because like I said, it hasn't moved past that filler stage. Hopefully next time I come back for another update, it'll be this done and the door will be on, and I'll be perfecting this jam and working on my fender door gap here. But that's about it for now. By the way, if anybody's interested in buying a sport bike, got a 2009 Aprilia RSV still for sale. Need it gone for me to buy some brakes for this thing. All right, guys, thanks for watching. Tune in again for the next video, a month or two from now probably. Later, guys.